Me, I've got a huge hunger to win this year. You know, I mean, I've built up the whole year for this moment.
Well, to be honest with you, I should have flew home Monday and I borrowed $600 at the last minute. And from the $600, I went on the blackjack all or nothing. I left the $600 on, doubled it to $1,200, doubled the $1,200 to $2,400, and I hit a blackjack. So I left the $3,000 on, and that come in. And anyway, I had a few more bets and I got it up to 10,100. As soon as I got the 10,000 in my hand, I run straight over here, entered, and all I had left in the world then was $100. I got no ticket to get home. I got nothing, but I'm here and I'm playing, and that's it.
It's the night before the start of the biggest poker game in the world. At Binion's Horseshoe, house dealers are being assigned their seats for the game as the last of the players arrive. By tomorrow morning, 352 players will have paid $10,000 to enter, generating a record $3.5 million in prize money.
We might give him some credit.
Jack Binion is the owner of the Horseshoe.
Well, I won't give him much.
His father, Benny, ran illegal poker clubs in Texas before moving west to Las Vegas.
No, I understand. And he's a complete chicken shit. But line him up anyway.
The Horseshoe is now the home of high-stakes poker.
How it all started, we went to Reno, and they had what they called a gambler's convention, but it was just a big poker game. So we came up with the idea to have a get-together of poker players.
Horseshoe down there, so it's been a gambling joint a long time. It's got the biggest limits in anywhere in the world. They'll give you the best gamble anywhere in the world. They never did have no entertainment down there. Most all people that was really gamblers, they went to the Horseshoe. Because Jack and Benny Binion and them, they'd give you a big limit. You know, I've seen a guy there shoot $1 million at one time.
You can start with the same amount of money, and when you lose the money that's in front of you, you're retired from the field. And you just keep retiring everybody, and you keep raising the ante where they can't just sit there. And you keep playing higher and higher until one person ends up with all the money.
One of this year's Irish players is Andrew Black from Belfast.
I was in college, I was doing law, and I might have played the odd hand with friends, but one day somebody came up to me and said, there's this place where you can go where you can get free coffee and free sandwiches, and you can also play poker. And there's a free entry into this particular game, the first entry you have. It's actually exactly the same game that I play in the World Series now. There are many different varieties of poker, but there was no limit Texas Hold'em, and as far as I was concerned, that could have been anything. But I was much more interested in the free coffee and free sandwiches.
That's a photograph of myself playing in 1966 in the streets of Belfast. And in those days we played for perhaps £1 each, which was a fortune. And I carry this with me all the time to remind me of my roots. Because nowadays I play for $1 million.
World Series Europeans to look out for. Dave Ulliott, the Devilfish. He's a fabulous player. He won a title last year.
I went to the Four Queens. I was playing Men the Master heads up in the Omaha. And when I beat him, my friend who was with me shouted, "Go on the Devilfish." And next day on the flyer it says the headlines was "Devilfish devours the Master," you know, and that was it. It stuck. So.
To get money, I used to get £2.50 for one of these road cones. £2.50. And if I had a small one, I used to get £1.50. Anyway, I like to finance my gambling. I used to go and collect these road cones. Anyway, we were skint for the big one, the European Championship, we were skint. So we went and hired a van. It was called Wreck-A-Rent. Wreck-A-Rent, what a name for a hire company. It was called Wreck-A-Rent. And I had these overalls, right, from a friend I know. Anyway, I've got one chap driving, another chap walking up the M5 as it bends onto the M40 to go to Warwick. right? And I'm in the back stacking them. I got over 1,000 in the back of this van, and I caused the biggest ever tailback of cars in motoring history. It was over 18 miles long. Because what happened was all the cones went to these Caterpillar machines. Of course, there was only one lane open. Of course, when the two cars got to the front, they've crushed each other, and then everything's got into the back of them. And even the hard shoulders full of cars. Right, and it's gone 18 miles. You imagine how many cars are there. It took the police 4.5 hours to get through, right? By which time I've sold the cones, you know, and then they've gone. You know what I mean? I've sold the cones, and I'm on my way to London.
I moved to Houston in 1978, and I started playing poker. And I was a very bad poker player. Everybody beat me. I couldn't beat nobody. I said, what the heck am I gonna do? I can't win. But I kept playing and trying and trying. Then a few years later, like I told you, in 1985, I went to my first tournament. I did bad, I left, I went home. And in 1986, I won my first tournament. And since then, since 1986 till now, I've lived off tournaments.
And I have a tournament in Johannesburg, in Sun City in South Africa, so I'm very familiar with the European players. I once said that a majority of them couldn't track an elephant in 4 foot of snow. But Donnacha O'Day is not one of them. He's a friend of mine, and I like him.
The son of actress Siobhan McKenna, Donnacha O'Day swam for Ireland in the 1968 Olympics. He is now better known as the most successful Irish poker player ever, earning a substantial living from high-stakes cash games the world over. Last week, he won $116,000 in a major tournament at the Horseshoe. So he enters the big game, showing a healthy profit from his trip to Las Vegas.
With my swimming, I had a very competitive approach. I was a good competitor, you know. I think I swam better, you know, on the bigger occasions. I think there's quite a few players that have been involved in some sort of sport and that they are very competitive. People sort of say, you know, oh, you're a gambler. And I used to always say, no, I'm not actually. It's the people who play with me are gamblers. I mean, obviously you can work whenever you feel like it. I mean, as such, or play whenever you want and sort of go on holidays. You don't have to sort of check with your boss and other people to formulate that side of it. But, you know, when things are going badly for poker players, then it's pretty tough, you know, and, you know, it's very difficult to, you know, get the train back on the track sort of thing, you know.
And you know, the next morning, this girl, Yolanda Zoyler, right, she's a postwoman, she's going to work. Anyway, of course, these lads have pinched these cones from round a hole. There's a 3-foot hole in the middle of the road. So you can imagine Yolanda Zoyler, she's going to work on a moped. It's pitch black in November, straight down the hole, breaks both her legs, and the moped's still running, and it's circling on top of her. She's in this hole for 2 hours. 2 hours, that's my girlfriend. I've put her there. I've put her there. I've got the cones in my house. Police couldn't understand, like, well, where have the cones gone? I've got them, you know what I mean? I'm straight up the hospital, you know what I mean? Oh, you know what I mean? Oh, I wonder who pinched them. It was me.
Well, I'm a gambler. I've never limited my wagers just to poker, as you're already aware of. I beat the world champion ping pong player playing with a Coca-Cola bottle as a paddle. That famous tennis hustler, Bobby Riggs, I beat him playing ping pong with a skillet, like you fry eggs in. You know, all trappers don't wear fur caps.
You know, the only person I'm scared of is me now. You know, I'm the most scary player in the event, yeah, because, you know, I'm the person who can make the mistake, you know.
I'm absolutely terrified of failure. And perhaps that fear of failure is what keeps me going, yeah? But once I get a few chips like every other good player, that begins to relax the nerves, calm the nerves. I begin to settle down then. But the first few hands, I'm shaking.
For me, sometimes danger moments happen initially whenever I sit down. I sometimes feel that until I've won the first pot, until I've won the first pot, I'm not comfortable, you know, I'm still a virgin.
So 20 minutes, they'll be starting in 20 minutes, looking good.
What? Didn't you know I'd got a seat? Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Texas Hold'em is the most popular game in professional poker. Each player is dealt 2 cards face down and then bets on these 2 cards. 3 face-up cards are dealt in the center. This is known as the flop. 2 more communal cards are then dealt. Each player makes the best 5-card hand from the 7 cards available.
And you can check and raise. And there's 5 cards on the board, face up, and everybody plays the best 5 out of 7.
In Hold'em, quite often, you know, you raise up with an ace-king and the cards come over and, you know, you have got nothing except ace-high, but your opponent may also have missed as well. So you bet it's a semi-defensive bluff that you bet at the flop. And, you know, you can have a lot of plays because it's played no limit. And, you know, I think it's a man's game, Hold'em.
Like 2 aces or 2 kings, usually when there's 5 people take a flop to it, they won't win 1 out of 4 or 5 times. And a good player will lay them down, but a bad player won't lay down 2 aces or 2 kings, regardless of what the flop comes.
If you like it, you call. If you love it, you raise. Whenever you feel really confident about your hand, you look unconfident. Oh, should I raise? But when you are unconfident about your hand, I raise. All in. Yeah? Feel the texture of your hand, feel the texture of your opponent, and don't be frightened. Just put it all in. And put it all in with confidence. A nice slow glide of your hand. All in. Yeah? Real confidence. The most important thing of all is have your rosary in your pocket and continually go through it. Yeah?
You know, once you win your first pot, you know, it sort of really sets you up, you relax. You know, because if you're sitting there for a couple of rounds, you know, and you know, you haven't won a pot like, and everybody's making moves, you know, you just feel you're almost aloof from the game, you know. So, I mean, that was one of the things with the Omaha final that I won the first pot I played in. I think it was the very first hand. First 4 hours, actually, the antes, what we're putting into the pot, are almost too low. There's not that much play going on. I think it's almost too slow. And then the only period in the first day when you're really sort of putting quite a lot in is the last 2 hours. So you play 8 hours the first day.
One of the earliest casualties on day 1 is actor Damon.
I actually was happy I wasn't the first guy knocked out. Once I saw somebody get up, all the pressure was off, and it just kind of, I had a good time with it. So it's not the good hands, it's the mediocre ones and how you play those that determines how good a card player you are. So to watch some of these great players and when they're bluffing and when they're not, and the moves they're putting on people at the table and other players and how they're getting in each other's heads. You know, they're playing, you know, just mediocre and sometimes even poor hands, and then that's where they're making their money. Anybody can play wired aces. I mean, you just bet everything you got.
A lot of players will go out of this World Championships very unluckily. You know, there will be many, many players who will play excellent poker. They'll have their money in. They might be 3-1 favourite, and the 1 horse out of 4 will actually come in. I called the raise. I played 700. The flop came Jack-Jack 7, 2 floats. And I checked and landed 1,000. I went all in for about 7,000. And he called me the Jack. Last card came to the club. It's the first flush I've hit since I've been in Vegas for a month. No, I started playing plan A. I changed to my own game after about an hour. I said, fuck it, man, I can't play someone else's game.
I want to get about 25,000 chips by the end of the day. Then I got a chance tomorrow. So keep our fingers crossed, eh?
After the last hand, we'll have everybody verify your chips.
A lot of people who play poker for a long time tend to be very judgmental because they use it as they use people around them in ordinary life as a practice for assessing somebody so they can work out what particular card hand they have, which is the aim of poker. It's not to work out what to do with your hand, it's you work out what everyone else's hand is first, and then your hand is the last thing that you think of.
Oh, yeah.
You saw that pot, didn't you? Yeah. There was 25,000 in that.
I'll get another 100,000 tomorrow. It'll be all set for the final day, final 2 days. No, they don't want to be sitting like me. Right, that's the game. I'm the danger.
Yeah, this is just messing about today, really. I mean, I got through the first day last year, and the next day I walked out with my pants down.
Yeah, there's a big smile here. 32,750. It just went according to plan. Went perfect.
As the first day ends, the organisers calculate the chip leader. Among the early leaders are Scotty Nguyen, a Vietnam-born poker professional, and the Persian Fazad Bonyadi. Mike Magee is also doing well.
37,000. Mike, I had 50,000.
It wasn't 1 o'clock, I remember now. We finished at 11 o'clock. I went back to my hotel room and I felt absolutely shattered. At 5 minutes to midnight, I took a sleeping tablet, jumped into bed. Half an hour later, I got out of bed, walked up and down the room. So I tried praying. I remember praying to God, please just give me 10 minutes sleep, please, just rest my eyes, 10 minutes. I left that room the next day at 10:30 without 1 second of sleep. So when the game started on the Tuesday, I bumped into Andrew on the way into the casino. He said, Mike, you look dreadful. I said, Andrew, I didn't have 1 second sleep last night.
I hope he get number one now.
He's gonna be number one?
Yeah.
I always be number one.
I feel in my heart he's gonna be number one.
Right here, baby. Number one, that's just it. Nothing less than 6-0, man. You know what I mean? 1 million. Nothing less. Right?
Right.
We're not gonna settle over nothing, but 6-0. All right.
200 players are left. As the cost of each round of betting rises, those who survive day one with few chips are beginning to struggle.
I bet the same as what I started. Yeah. But I've been in the wars.
I blagged a pot, I bluffed a pot. And as I threw my cards in, they hit the dealer's hand and they turned over, showing the other chap that I was bluffing him. And I put a £7,500 raise into a pot I couldn't win, and he packed. But if he hadn't have seen me cards face up, I would have been sorted. Like, you know what I mean? But now every time I make a move, they're coming back at me. So I'm just praying that this table breaks up in the next half an hour, and then I can get busy on somebody else's table.
Donnacha OD is soon knocked out, but his lost entrance fee has barely dented his profit.
And some players used to do that on purpose. They'd show their cards in so that they'd hit, you know, a dealer's hand and show the bluff, you know, so accidentally you've shown this bluff, you know, and it's, you know, now you got a bit of free advertising, more or less, you know.
So how did you go out anyway?
Nothing exciting. Yeah.
Well, you never had a chance, man, you know, you didn't create enough chips.
At 3 p.m., some European players are comfortable, but the cost of a betting round keeps rising. Now players are forced to come out and bet in order to survive. As the field shrinks, players are assigned new tables and empty ones are carried from the room. Andrew Black and Martyn Wilson's aggressive style has cost them dear.
I had about 20,000. I lost some antes, and then I lost about 8,000 in a hand where I was 11 to 10 favourite. I was slight favourite. But, you know, it's about even money. I was slight favourite. And then I had 10,000 left, and the chip leader at the time, I made it 3,000, and he put me all in for 10,000. And I think I played the hand the same way 100 times again. I had a pair of queens, which is the third best hand in Hold'em. Unfortunately, he hit a pair of kings. And I didn't hit a queen. So I was knocked out of the tournament.
He checked, I raised. He re-raised me, I called him. The only card he can win with is a queen. Queen come 4th straight, knocked me out. It's the only card he could win with. Was a queen. I was in front. The show was over for him. And I'd have been flipped. I'd have had like 60,000 in chips, 65,000. had a bad beat.
What was your pot when you went in?
The pot was a total of about, I had 35, he had 35 and a few hundred more than me. So the pot was worth over 70,000 chips. And I'm out the comp. Show's over. I'm going today anyway. I'm going to get on your plane, yeah?
Coming on my plane?
Yeah.
You think of the seats?
Yeah, it's 747 there.
But if you keep thinking, I've got 100 now, and the leader's got 150, and I've got to go after him, that's stupid. You don't need to go after
That's
him.
on that
figure.
side. You're absolutely correct.
You just play your cards.
Yeah, on that side, but still, the side to consider is the upside of the whole thing, and that's if you have the chips. To actually, if you go for more chips,
oh yeah,
it can put you in a
go
very
for more. Yeah, I mean you're going to play your cards, but you're not thinking I've got to have the lead by the end of the day.
Oh no, you're right.
The only important place to have the lead is the final hand.
Yeah. Because of my worry about what other people think about me, I think that it affects my judgment a lot, and I feel like I have to win quicker than I should do. And this is one of the many things that I would have to sort out. I mean, someone like Donnacha would view me as an idiot in terms of playing cards, and he would have good reason for that, because I don't apply myself as religiously and faithfully as he would do to his art form.
With poker tournaments, obviously, well, whoever wins the tournament is sort of the best player, although there's an awful lot of luck in tournaments, in all honesty. I mean, but with the cash games, you know, I mean, everybody's got their views on who's better than who, but, you know, at the end of the day, whoever wins the most money over a period of time has to be regarded as the best player. In the short term, obviously, you get very bad players winning, so, you know, you do get a certain satisfaction out of proving, you know, where you stand.
It does put you aside from other people. And it does mean that oft times for poker players, they're happier being with their own or being by themselves. Because no one else understands what a flop is. No one else understands what a wraparound is. No one understands the idea of getting into someone else's head. You know, no one really understands what it's like to be that close to winning $1 million for playing a game of cards. I mean, for 3 months last year, I was gutted. I couldn't. You know, I mean, why do I put myself through this? I don't even know. Why do I put myself through this? I don't even like money that much. For brief moments, you get tremendous satisfaction. You get almost an insight into other people. In a certain way, you get a feeling of power, very simply. I don't know what the future will bring.
This day's the worst.
You don't have to give me a lot of bullshit. If he's in the money tomorrow, he's going to get a lot of sleep.
It's 7 o'clock, and the players are taking a break from the tables.
This is just mind-blowing, you know. It really is mind-blowing.
It's very exciting, isn't it? It's a huge pass.
Yeah, but it's so stressful. It just empties you. It takes everything out of you, you know.
As the game restarts, Mike Magee knocks out another player. The game will continue until there are 27 players left. These 27 will be in the money, earning a minimum of $25,000. As the stakes rise, the mind games begin in earnest.
I swear to God, like I'm like about one double Jack Daniels from Nguyen. If I had like one more, I'd just move your ass right in. You need to pick on somebody else for the effort.
What do you think, Phil?
Of course you were right.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Phil. That's right. That's right. To take a vote.
I bet you everybody here thinks that was right, all the people, right? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
For some players, table talk is a way of dominating the game.
47-8. You think you made the right decision? This is the way the rule is. 47-8. Well, I lost another one, Phil. That's 301 in a row.
I'm hot. You see, nobody messing around with me because they're afraid now, you see? If they're messing around with me, they go broke, you know what I mean? Because I have all the chips, baby. I can break them in one hand. Every time I raise, you see everybody muck. You don't see anybody play with me, you know what I mean? They're afraid now, you see? Time to attack, man.
Give me some chips.
I think if I can get through these 2 hours, I'm certain I can coast through to the money, you know, but these 2 hours are going to be critical because now a round is costing 24, 18, 40, 4,200 for each round. So 4,200 and I've got 35,000. I haven't got enough to last the 2 hours, and this is the first time I've been in that position. This is the first 2 hours I can't make without winning a hand, you know. Anyway, listen, I'm going to have to go and play. Thanks.
At 8 o'clock, Mark Napolitano is struggling, and the Devilfish is finally knocked out.
I'll get him in the cash cans.
Well, the adrenaline just got pumping a little bit, but I had a pair of nines. I had to put it in, you know. I'm being handed away, so. But I walked into him with aces.
Mike Magee from Ireland's got about 200,000.
Mike Magee is in a strong position. With 29 players left, his $200,000 should be enough to see him into the money. All he has to do is wait for 2 other players to go out, and then he can go into day 3 with a guaranteed $25,000.
It was a new experience. It was my first time playing in the World Championships. And I lacked experience of the moment. And the moment was quite close to being frightening. Bobby Hoff was raising every single hand. And I didn't have a hand of a strong enough quality to call his raises. And that was driving me crazy, that he was bullying the table. And there are very, very few players that I will allow to bully me at a poker table. And then the hand came along where Bobby raised again for, I think, about the 40th time in 60 hands. I was on the big blind, looked at my cards, and had a pair of queens. So I figured it's worth a call.
I'm betting all my chips. Bobby's re-raising all in. You call him, Mike?
Well, once he said that, I should have folded instantly. But I remember Jack McClellan says, "Are you going to call, Mike? Are you going to call, Mike?" And I said yes, without even thinking. I was incapable at that moment of rational thought. And Jack's voice, I think, pushed me into calling. Because I knew once Bobby Hoff came over the top and bet all his chips that I was dead in the hole.
Mike Magee, board shows king, queen, 5 with 2 clubs. Cards, 9 of clubs. 9 of clubs. Cards, 4. Bobby's got 3 kings. Way to go, Bobby. Bobby Hoff doubles up, wins the hand.
Yeah! Okay, 25. Well, there's 10,000.
92,000 even.
I remember some girl pushing someone out of the way to photograph me. I was losing my focus. Then someone would shout, "Mike, quick shot." It was mind-blowing.
$50,000 pop Bobby Hoff just won. $250,000 pot. 10-minute break, everybody.
Yeah.
If you don't get involved during a complete circuit of the board, you will lose $20,000. Now, I think at this stage I had about 70,000 left, which was still probably sufficient to see me into the last 27. But I had just been severely wounded by Bobby Hoff, and now I was desperate to get into a head-to-head situation with someone. So I took the decision to raise all in.
That was great.
I took that decision because I believed that the only hand that he can call me with is a pair of aces.
We can show our hand?
Yeah. Okay, Mike McGee's all in now against Jack.
Show our hand.
Mike's got king, jack of hearts. Jack's got 2 aces. Ball comes deuce, tray 5 with 1 heart. No heart. Turn cards a king, makes Mike king.
Mike needs a king or a jack to win.
27.
He gets a 6.
Cards a 6. Red box comes a 1. Mike McGee's our 28th place finisher. Everybody.
Wonderful Jesus, thou art so true. Out of the valley, oh, the valley so low. He is my Savior. He's sweet, I know. I'm so glad I know him. Oh, yes, I do. Wonderful Jesus, thou art so true.
I was very disappointed that Mike Magee went out. He had a lot of chips, he had a chance, and I like Mike a lot. He's a great character in the game. But I think he did a very bad play. They pay money, you have to get in the top 27 to get in the money, and when he went out, he was the 28th person. He had to just wait for one short stack to go out, and then he was guaranteed money, 25,000. Then you go on to win the tournament once you're in the money. A guy's raised, you've got a Jack King, which is a nothing hand. You can only beat a bluff with these hands, and how he just moved all his chips in and gambled, it's beyond me. It's beyond me. It's a sin.
I win every part I'm in, and they're afraid to call me because they don't want to go broke. You know what I mean? I have the money to break them, they can't break me. They don't want to mess around with me right now. You know what I mean? They have to have a hand to messing around with me. They cannot call me with 6s or 8 or ace 10, ace jack. You know what I mean? They're afraid I move around them and they go broke. You see?
Good stuff. Okay.
Confident, man.
Say goodbye to her.
Bye, honey. Bye. Bye, baby. Thank you. Bye, honey.
Scotty Nguyen leads the field with $600,000. Some of his more vocal opponents have been knocked out.
I should have called him. He had 2 10s and I had 2 jacks, and I told him what he had. It was 2 10s. I should have called him.
I had a strong feeling that a 10 was coming on the flop.
It might have. I might have got broke earlier. I might not have got this far. He might have caught a 10, and I might have got broke. But we'd have played about pot for about 240,000, and I'd have had over 300,000. But I didn't call him.
That's right. He's right. And I thought I had the best hand.
I told him he had 2 10s.
Yeah, I thought I had the best hand.
I think you got 2 10s. He turned up 2 red 10s when I showed him 2 jacks. So it's like, you know, sometimes it's like you got to go with your gut instinct and just go with the flow. Forget about what you're playing for. Just do what you think's right. And other times, you know, you got to try to survive and get down there. But it didn't work out good for me, I'll tell you that. Well, see you guys next year, I hope.
It's the final hand of day 3. Only one more player needs to be knocked out when Sweden's Jan Lundberg raises the pot and England's Ben Roberts re-raises. Scotty calls and rides his luck. He fills a diamond flush on the last card. Both Jan and Ben are knocked out. There will be no Europeans at the final table, and only 5 players will play the last day.
You know it! The way I feel, man, I know I get it back.
food is very hard. You can't eat when you're nervous. Your adrenaline's going. It's really difficult. I'm just a rookie who's lucky to be here.
They feel about Scotty, man. This is a new champion in town, man.
5 players take their seats at the final table.
Whoever loses the last pot today still gets $687,500, and the winner will receive $1 million along with a World Championship gold bracelet. Dealer, shuffle up and deal.
Before long, there are only 3 left.
Fourth place winning $250,000.
TJ Cloutier, an ex-pro footballer, Kevin McBride, an amateur playing in his first World Series, and Las Vegas veteran Scotty Nguyen.
Playing with a $2,000 ante, $10,000 and $20,000 blind. Shuffle up and deal.
He's not going to get much out of TJ.
3 fine.
Kevin McBride defies the odds and knocks out TJ Cloutier.
You're getting dangerous, man.
Just got to keep you guessing.
I just want to be calmed down, man. You know what I mean? Thank you, you guys. Good job.
The security staff now bring out the first prize. $1 million in used $100 bills. After 4 days of play, there are just 2 players left at the final table. For the next 4 hours, Kevin and Scotty will play head-to-head.
He's got hard flush.
The battle ebbs and flows. Scotty gradually takes the upper hand. The flop shows 998. Kevin bets $100,000. Scotty calls. The next card is dealt, and the board shows a pair of 8s and a pair of 9s. Kevin bets another $100,000. Scotty calls. The final card is an 8. The board is now showing a full house. If Kevin McBride has an 8, he wins the pot with 4 of a kind. Scotty bets $310,000. Kevin is forced to bet everything he has to stay in the hand.
Your car gonna be all over, baby.
Kevin plays the 5 communal cards.
I call. I play the board.
Kevin calls, plays the board.
But Scotty has a 9.
I got it. Party time. I got it.
Remember this hand, baby. World champion to play this hand here.
Scotty, right here.
And that's the reason I become a poker player. Because I know a poker player, I can make good money so I can help my family out. That's what I did. I support them all those years. Last 6, 7 years, everything they eat, everything they drink, or how they live in is all my money. Finally, I did it. This is the dream, baby. This is just like a dream. You know what I mean?
Younger players they'll gamble on going broke when they don't have a family and stuff like that, but a lot of them do go broke. That's the trouble.
I don't think I want to cause that much damage to people, because if somebody wins at poker, somebody loses. So if you're a big winner, effectively you've caused quite a lot of heartache to a lot of people.
I had the long walk. It was shattering at the time. I hope I never go through the same emotional turmoil that I went through at the end of that hand. It's part of a learning experience, an expensive learning experience.
Obviously, if you think that other younger players are coming up and are going to be better than you, and you're either going to try and find an easier game, or just sort of play in a friendly game once or twice a week, sort of thing, and if they let me into it.
I intend going back to Vegas in about 6 weeks' time. I intend putting my 10 grand on the line again. I intend giving the World Championships another bash. And I hope that between now and then I can correct all the mistakes that I'm making, because they are down to me.
Most other poker players, if really they were being honest with themselves, would say, I get some highs and lows out of playing poker. Sometimes I feel good. But if they were really, really honest, they would say, a lot of the time, it doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me feel good at all.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. If I ain't got a bet, like, my life doesn't exist.
I'm a gambler, baby.